Hello YouTube viewer, and welcome back. Glad to see my suffering brings you such joy. The very first solo challenge I did was on the Kanto starters, where we answered that you can in fact beat the game only using your starter. Fairly easily in fact. The biggest reason for that is because I allow my Pokemon to evolve, which some people ever so kindly informed me in the comments. So when I did the challenge again in Generation 2, I decided not to evolve my starter, and instead of doing it with all three, I decided to go with the worst starter in the game. In the case of Gold, Silver, and Crystal, Chikorita. But back in the land of Kanto, the worst starter in the game is easily Charmander. Only have a type advantage against Erica, and that's it. And this brings us to today's challenge. Can you beat Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen only using a single Charmander in battle? Here's a quick list of the rules I'll be following throughout this challenge. We on the same page? Good. Let's start. Let's skim past the easy stuff first. The first battle against your rival is by far the easiest. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. If you lose, the only thing you lose out on is EXP. And of course, after you give the parcel to Professor Oak, you have the option to battle him again in Route 22. Considering who the first two gym leaders are, I decided to go for it. After a small bit of EV training on Route 1, my rival is an issue at this point. It did help that I burnt his Squirtle. I beeline past Viridian Forest and into Pewter City to challenge Brock. Now, Charmander does have a move that it didn't have back in the original Gen 1 games, Metal Claw. I'm sure Game Freak gave Charmander this move to help new players ease into the game. Something we nutty kids didn't have the luxury of. But I'm gonna tell you a little poke hack. You're better off using Ember. I'm dead serious. Both Geodude's and Onix's defense stat are way higher than special defense. Over 3 times higher in fact. Despite Brock's Pokemon resisting fire type attacks, you're still gonna deal more damage with Ember. And it's not like my Charmander's level is that much higher than Brock's team. Plus you have the chance to burn, which is always nice. It's always worked for me, and it works for me today as I attained badge number 1 on my first try. After that, we defeat every possible trainer in Mount Moon. And because you were all so mad at me last time, I'll grab the Helix fossil. But if this video doesn't get 1,000 likes by the time I release another run in the Kanto region, I will pick the dome. I knew for a fact I was not ready for Misty, so I decided to do some training in the route above. But first, my rival wants to go for round 3. He leads with Pidgeotto, who of course knows Sand Attack. Luck was on my side this time sadly, as just 1 dose of sand was enough to put my accuracy on par with a Stormtrooper. Somehow, I managed to knock out 3 of his Pokemon, but by the time his Rattata comes out, a single quick attack takes me out. After my training, I still didn't feel like I was ready for Misty quite yet. So after saving Bill, I head for the SS Sand to punch every trainer and my rival in the face. I get the HM for cut from the Seasick Captain, and now, with every possible trainer defeated, I head back to Cerulean City to face Misty. And just maybe I was slightly over level for this one. I take out Staryu in 1 shot thanks to her crit. Then I paralyze her Starmie after her attack from Secret Power. 1 more hit takes out Starmie, and now I officially have 2 badges in my possession. With that, we have passed the second hardest part of the game. Mid-game, Charmander does okay for himself, as we can see with Lieutenant Surge here. I crit his Voltorb. Not that it matters, I'm sure it would have gone down in 1 shot regardless. Solely based on the fact that both his Pikachu and Raichu go down with 1 flamethrower each. It's a clean sweep for Charmander. I'll take it while I can. After that, I blindly run through Dark Tunnel and challenge Erica. And to absolutely no one's surprise, it was yet another clean sweep. Now it's off to the game corner to show Team Rocket what for. After cleaning through all the grunts, it's time to face the big boss. Both his Onix and his Rhyhorn take down in 1 shot. But to my surprise, his Kangaskhan survives Flamethrower. It tries to hit me back, but it was not very effective. I finish it off with Secret Power. With the Silscope in hand, we head back to Lavender Town to climb Pokemon Tower. But first, my rival again wants to go at it. My level's so high at this point that he isn't really a challenge. I punch my rival and his Pokemon in the snage and save Mr. Fuji from Team Rocket. So usually I run off to Fuchsia City to challenge Koga, but this time I decide to head to Saffron first to save Silphco. But before I can challenge the big guy, my rival wants to battle again. His Pidgeot goes down in one shot. Then he sends out Blastoise. I knew Flamethrower wouldn't do much to it, so I use Secret Power, which is a 3-hit KO. But I do get a paralysis. Growlithe comes out to intimidate my attack, but it doesn't matter at this point. I take out the rest of his team in one hit. With my rival brushed aside, I move on to Giovanni. His Nidorino and Rhyhorn go down in one shot. His Kangaskhan goes down after 2 hits, as does his Nidoqueen. I'm looking forward to facing him again in a few hours. But before I leave, I grabbed a Lapras, because I'll need a Pokemon that knows Surf to get the Cinnabar. Since we're already in Saffron, I figured I'd challenge Sabrina the Teenage Psychic. This one is fairly straightforward. The Aber line are known for having pathetic physical defense, so I attack Kadabra with Secret Power, one-shotting it. Then I Flamethrower her Mr. Mime and Venomoth to the next dimension. And Alakazam actually puts up a decent fight. I mean, it was mostly Sabrina force-feeding it potions, but it was the biggest gym challenge I've had so far since Misty. With Sabrina defeated, we move on to Fuchsia City to face Koga. I thought I could take out his Koffing in one hit with Secret Power. Obviously, I did not, and it blasts me with Smokescreen. Which leads us to Muck, who starts by using Minimize. Luck was not on my side, as it kept raising its evasion, and the misses were starting to pile up. Also, it poisoned me. Not with Toxic, thankfully, which is the only good thing I can say about this scenario. I just needed one more shot to take out Muck. The only problem was, I couldn't land a hit. My health was starting to get too low for my comfort level, but just when I thought this was going to be my first gym battle lost, I finally land a hit and take out Muck. After that, I am able to take out his other 2 Pokemon with one attack, just barely having enough HP to survive the last round of poison. If this had gone on for one more turn, I would have lost. The next major battle is against Blaine on Cinnabar. He leads with Growlithe, who cuts my attack with Intimidate, but a single Flamethrower does take it out. Next out is Ponyta, who goes on after a single Rock Slide. Rapidash actually takes a bit of work. Rock Slide takes down to potion range, but it does get paralyzed after Secret Power. One more Rock Slide takes it out. Finally, we have Arcanine, who, much like its pre-evolution, has the Intimidate ability. I figured Flamethrower would be the better choice, despite Arcanine resisting it. It takes me out after a crit from Fire Blast. And that, folks, is my first loss against a gym leader. I do get my revenge on my next attempt, and in pure poetic justice, I take it out with a crit. But now looking back on it, that crit probably wouldn't have mattered. I was gonna head to Viridian and get my last badge, but Bill Nye the Science Guy wants me to accompany him to the Sevi Islands. Not much to note here, just that I save a little girl named Lostel from a hypno. So the rumors were true. Now we can face Giovanni one last time. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried for this one. I knew all of his Pokemon knew Earthquake, and Charmander would not be having a good time if that hits. But my fears were all for naught, as Charmander charged Giovanni's entire team in one hit. We took 0 damage in this battle. Much to my surprise, we easily get our 8th gym badge. Now it's off to the Indigo Plateau. But first, my rival wants a warm-up. Charmander easily takes out my rival's Pidgeot and Rhyhorn, but then he sends out Blastoise. It knows Rain Dance, weakening my fire attacks while strengthening his water attacks. With the rain set up, Water Gun is a 2-hit KO. And that's the story for my next few attempts. After a few rematches, I managed to get a paralysis with Secret Power. It loses a turn to paralysis before it can finish me off, giving me the chance to finish it off. Once we get past Blastoise, the rest of his team isn't a problem, as they all go down in one hit. After a quick chit to the move leader, it's time for the Elite Four. First up, of course, is Lorelei. And right off the bat, I'm in trouble. Dewgong is a big wall of blubber who tanks my attacks and can knock me out with 2 surfs. I tried Flamethrower first, but that's a 3-hit KO, and Lorelei will definitely give her Dewgong a full restore after the second attack, assuming I don't crit of course. And unlike in Gen 1, I can't set up with Sword Stance because the move 2 that teaches it to me isn't available until post-game. The best strategy I came up with for dealing with Dewgong was to first use Secret Power, and then either pray for paralysis or that I'll use a setup move like Hail or Safeguard. If that happens, I can finish it off with Rock Slide. Cloister is easy enough. 1 Flamethrower takes it out. Next up is Lapras, and this is the reason why I need Dewgong to not attack me. When Lapras attacks with Surf, it does 60 to 70% damage. If Dewgong softens me up, I will not survive Lapras' attack. 2 Flamethrowers usually take care of Lapras, even after it eats its berry. Then I've got to deal with Slowbro, the only Pokemon in her team that lacks the Ice typing. So I figure the best way of dealing with Slowbro is just to spam Secret Power, hope for a paralysis or 2, and pray that decides to set up instead of attacking me. If my Blaze ability is activated, I'll just go on Flamethrower instead, and her Jinx goes down in 1 shot. Bruno's next. His 2 Honest go down after 1 shot, but his fighting Pokemon somehow managed to survive Flamethrower. Regardless, this should be an easy match, is what I was going to say, until I ate a crit from a Champ's Cross Chop, costing me the battle. I fare much better on my second go at him. Agatha is next, and she's the reason why I decided not to teach my Charmander Dig. While all of her Pokemon have the Poison typing, the Gengar line have the Levitate ability, making them immune to ground-type attacks, and Golbat is part flying. The one Pokemon that can't get hit with a ground-type move is Arbok, who has the Intimidate ability, cutting my attack, thus weakening Dig. So I just go in with special attacks for the most part. I burn down her team and then cover her bat with rocks. Finally, we have Lance. It leads with Gyarados, again cutting my attack. I still attempt Rock Slide, getting it down to about half. My second attack misses, unfortunately, and it nails me with Hyper Beam. On my next turn, I land a hit and take it out. Then Lance sends out Aerodactyl. Again, I go with Rock Slide, and again it does about half. Aerodactyl counters with Ancient Power, and I just managed to hang in there. I finish off Aerodactyl with Dragon Claw. Surprisingly, Lance then sends out his best Pokemon, Dragonite. I go for Dragon Claw, and much to my surprise, it wasn't quite enough to take it out. After a few rematches, I managed to get a battle where I had enough HP to take an Outrage or 2. I managed to finish out Dragonite, and Lance's 2 Dragonairs both go down in 1 hit. We all know what's next. The final battle against our rival. To begin, I misclick and use Secret Power instead of Rock Slide. Don't worry, I get it right on my second attack. But if my luck wasn't bad enough, it just barely takes the attack. I finish it off on turn 3. Next out is Rhydon. Flamethrower looks to be a 2-hit KO. Thankfully, instead of attacking me, it goes for Scary Face, giving me the chance to finish it off. Now it's Blastoise's turn, who completely destroys me with Hydro Pump. On my next attempt, I use Flamethrower on Pidgeot. It almost takes it on this particular attempt, but I find just all a roll of the die here, as sometimes it'll just tank it, and then other times, Flamethrower will take it out in 1 shot. At full health, I am just barely able to withstand Hydro Pump. It gets my health low enough to activate Blaze to increase my firepower and finish off Blastoise. Alakazam is out next, and since Rhydon lowered my speed, Alakazam is faster than me and finishes me off. I will either need to crit Rhydon, or Hydro Pump will have to miss me. Twice. Why twice? Because even if I get lucky enough to crit Rhydon, if my health is too low, his Arcanine will finish me off with extreme speed. It's a very tedious process, but I eventually get a run where I manage not to get obliterated by Hydro Pump. With Alakazam out of the way, and the Exeggutor easily wiped out, We're once again down to his Arcanine, my rival's final Pokemon. Charmander and Arcanine go at it for a while. I get down to the red after a couple of Dragon Claws, but then he pops a full restore and we're back to where we started. I cross my fingers and pray that my rival will not use extreme speed, or if he does, I'll somehow live it. He doesn't, and I knock out his Arcanine with a high roll Dragon Claw. And that's it. I had to defeat Pokemon FireRed only using a single Charmander in battle. Arguably, the worst starter in the game. Charmander has a weird path. A rough early game, but the rest of the gym leaders surprisingly aren't too bad. It wasn't until we faced Lorelei that we started running into problems again. I definitely say that her battle and the final showdown with the rival are the hardest, with certain things that need to happen at certain times in order to win. Is this the hardest challenge in the world? Absolutely not. But if you don't safe scum between the Elite Four members, you need to have a next to perfect battle against 2 of the 5 trainers. After a while, you'll physically start to feel your hairs turning gray. But that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know what other challenges you'd like me to do in the future. And with all that being said, I will see you all very soon. Be safe and goodbye.